Okay, guys, now I'm watching Mojo. Let's do top 10 that don't exist anymore. Yeah. Is that true?
It's also an acquired taste that many never quite acquire. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 brands that don't exist anymore.
This is the great one, the ultimate
Nice.
driving machine. And if you don't know what that means, you're excused.
It just got hungrier and hungrier. Sooner or later they were doomed to go off that cliff like an ice wall.
But what about all those other low-cost guys like...
Don't you want an ISP that's fast, safer, reliable, and more
That
secure?
commercial, I
This list, we're
remember
looking at
that.
product brands that have vanished over the years. We'll only be covering brands associated with specific products and not stores. The likes of Blockbuster and Radio Shack deserve their own list. Is there a brand from the past you miss? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Tab. When someone says they want a tab, it usually means they're going to order more at an establishment and want to keep a tally so they can pay later.
Give me a tab. Tab? I can't give you a tab unless you order something. Right, give me a Pepsi free. If you want a Pepsi, pal, you're gonna pay for it. Just give me something without any sugar in it, okay?
Not for Coca-Cola. In 1963, they introduced their very first diet beverage known as Tab. Considered very
What's
popular
Tab?
in the 60s and 70s, they spawned various flavors of the drink, including root beer and ginger ale. Yet when Diet Coke hit the market in 1982, Tab started to take a hit. The company began producing less and less of it as interests shifted, and Coke eventually announced in 2020 they were discontinuing the brand. There are, however, pockets of places here and there that
Oh,
still
it's just
carry
like a
the
symbol
favorite
like
as of this
Coke or
writing,
Diet
but
Coke.
those are rare, and the soft drink is pretty much retired.
Petition to save Tab was signed by several thousand people, but to no avail. Coke is putting Tab on ice.
Number 9, Bugle Boy.
Excuse me. What does Bugle Boy do for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fun fact, Bugle Boy founder William C.W. Mao actually started his entrepreneurial career in electrical engineering. When outed from his company due to an SEC inquiry, Mao shifted gears and started making clothing.
But you gotta start somewhere. I mean, take your clothes, for example. If you just get out of that monkey suit, you might get a positive attitude going. I mean, the world could be your oyster.
Best known for their jeans and earworm-inducing commercials, Bugle Boy was also responsible for one of the surprising trends of the 1980s, parachute pants.
Parachute.
Yeah.
Does everybody parachute?
Between the denim trousers and the ballooning slacks, the company sold nearly $1 billion worth of product. Despite its success, the company had difficulty staying up with the ever-changing trends of youth culture. They eventually went bankrupt in 2001.
Excuse me, are those Bugle jeans?
Number 8, Compaq. Founded in the early 80s, this thriving computer company sold IBM PC-compatible devices, with PC standing for personal computer under their own name.
If you're looking for a powerful, elegant computer that doesn't smell,
That's what a computer used to look like.
choice. Sorry, I was wondering. Choice.
A few notable devices included one of the first portable computers and the Compaq Presario, which featured a long
See, I
line of
remember
desktop
them.
and laptop computers.
In fact, the Compaq Presario can even answer your computing questions. Oh, and if you happen to have a phone, it can answer that too.
By 1994, they had lapped IBM and Apple in the home computer
See, I
market.
remember that. But I don't have my computers when I was a kid.
They come from a company whose annual sales reached $1 billion faster than any other industry.
However, with the market shifting and some bad management decisions, Compaq Star began to fall. In 2002, they were acquired by Hewlett-Packard, and the last Compaq branded devices were discontinued in 2013.
Lindor, made to melt you like a little best
That's why.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Paul.
Number 7, Pontiac. In the 1920s, GM discovered a major price gap between their Chevrolet and Oakland branded vehicles, prompting the birth of the 1926 Pontiac. By 1929, the Pontiacs were outside.
See, I like this car. I don't know why. It's just still 20s, 30s, and 45s.
Notable entries include the 69 Pontiac GTO, the Grand Am, the Fiero, and the Firebird Trans Am.
Firebird, you're ready to fly.
However, the turn of the century was not good for GM as they faced bankruptcy.
To rescue GM, the U.S. government reinvested
That's why.
$30 in the company on top of its
My mom had a Grand Am right now.
Having already taken Oldsmobile out of
No,
the picture in
Nissan.
2004, Pontiac largely saw its end in 2009 when the company pulled the plug on the long-standing brand in an effort to keep themselves afloat.
Pontiac brand will be phased out as part of a reduction plan that also includes the elimination of 21,000 U.S. factory jobs.
Number 6, Kudos. Candy bars come and go, but some have stood the test of time.
Mars.
Mars, Kit Kat, and Twix are just a few who've hung on over the years. Kudos, on the other hand, did not. It was a granola bar snack introduced by Mars in 1986 with a simply
I
Kudos
wasn't
malt
born in
shake
the 80s. I was
that
around
increased the
80s.
high calorie count in the original.
Sorry.
You love the whole grain crunch. It pops in every bite.
Oddly enough, in
I wish I
2017,
born in
a
the
post
80s.
on the company's Facebook page confirmed the brand had been discontinued. No official reason has ever been given, and the fans of the granola snack were left scratching their heads. All may not be lost, as Mars apparently re-registered the brand trademark in 2020. Maybe we'll see it again someday. Number 5, Orbitz. We have no idea what this company was thinking when they released their
Orbitz?
beverage back in 1997, but to no one's surprise,
Oh, I remember them.
made as a clear, non-carbonated fruit drink, Orbitz became infamous for the reaction it spawned from onlookers.
It wasn't around my
If it had
time.
been released today, we're sure the likes
It's
of
just
YouTube,
one of those
TikTok,
kind of
and
drinks.
reaction videos of people trying to figure out exactly what the orbs floating in the drink were.
I didn't
Not
drink them,
only
so
did it look like a lava lamp to go, the drink itself tasted poorly, and the orbs were apparently even worse. This is a drink that thankfully kicked into orbit. Number 4, Netscape Navigator.
She was 18 years old. Doesn't even know what Netscape is.
Unless you used the internet in the 90s or recognized the
Mm-hmm.
icon from a quick scene in Captain Marvel, you probably never heard of this browser. At a time when the World Wide Web was just starting out, web browsers were few and far between. Netscape reigned king for a while until Microsoft came onto the scene and the browser wars began.
Get unlimited internet access from
Netscape.
Well, what about all those
Remember
other
that.
guys like
Don't you want an ISP that's fast, safer, reliable, and more secure?
Netscape won the first few rounds, but by the time Internet Explorer 3.0 and 4.0 came out, Netscape was already lagging behind, and it didn't help that Microsoft included Explorer with every version of Windows.
Faster, obviously. Now look at Netscape. It was born
that was,
I don't use the word die big but it's basically
it was 2000. I was,
Netscape came to an end in
I would have
2007,
to be
but left
8 years
Travis
old.
as a legacy since it's used by virtually every web page out there.
No,
Number 3, Enron.
10. Sorry, I would have to be 10.
Be an environment where employees can come in here and realize their potential.
Enron is a name that went down in history as one of the biggest financial scandals to rock the United States. Known mainly as an energy company, Enron grew by leaps and bounds as it began to diversify its portfolio beyond just the basics of energy. Sure, that all sounds great as many companies brought down.
That's our vision. We're trying to change the world.
The problem for Enron was that as large as they were, much of their financial success was due to accounting. In basic terms, they said they were doing fine, all the while hiding massive debts and liabilities from everyone.
You see how it's because everyone actually uses the same estimates reports, which magically transform themselves into revenue, which translates directly into higher stock prices for investors. You know, I have bonuses and stock option payouts and things like
bankruptcy in 2001, and a full investigation into their practices was launched.
And most things that end terribly, it didn't start out that way. It started with a lot of people who thought they were changing the world, and over time they became victims of their own
Cutie the
hubris,
bear.
victims of their own greed, and so it's
Cutie.
like taking so much promise and possibility and looking at it in a mirror and seeing the flip side reflected back at you.
Number 2, Kodak.
Oh my god, I remember using it when I was younger.
Trademarked in 1888, Kodak is a name synonymous with photography. For years, the term Kodak moment referred to a perfect instant to capture in a photo.
Aren't all your moments worth Kodak's film?
Kodak cameras hit the market shortly after the company was
Remember them.
and became the de facto standard for photography for decades. In 1975, they produced the world's first digital camera, but scrapped it for fear of losing their film camera business.
It's sort of the classic innovator's dilemma problem. You have this great cash cow, which is your film camera business, and you're one of the dominant players there. You're reluctant to totally disrupt it yourself.
Company executives held the line on film photography, but did eventually give in and join the digital revolution, which helped the company for a short time. A combination of both market growth, the
Now it's
explosion
not
of
around
smartphones,
anymore.
and other competitors who
Now
eventually
we have a
pushed
digital
Kodak
cameras.
photography, and it now only operates as a print company after filing for bankruptcy in the early 2010s.
For years, the company's advertisements urged people to seize on Kodak.
Yeah, my god, I remember using them.
Now it looks like Kodak has let its moment pass it by.
Before we continue, be sure
Some
to
kids
subscribe to
don't
our
know
channel
what
and
that
ring the
is.
bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Pan Am. Air travel in the mid-20th century was a whole other world. Pan American World Airways, or Pan Am, practically held a monopoly on international travel at the time. They were also responsible for shipping the types of aircraft being flown in much larger planes, such as the Boeing 747. They had an advanced collection, top-notch service, and were not owned by any government entity.
It was second to none. I didn't think you'd be able to see it in some of the finest restaurants.
That state-of-the-art fleet of planes ultimately hurt them, however, when the 1973 oil crisis struck. No one was flying, and the company was taking a hit. Their accumulating debt and failure to adapt to an ever-changing industry saw them sell off their assets to various other airlines as they went under in 1991.
It broke people's hearts, really. Not just the people that worked for the airline, but for many other people that flew it and knew it. And it was the flagship airline of America.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo.
Okay guys, I will see you in my the video, so I see you then.